These Himba women bare their breasts, come to a large supermarket for shopping. This beautiful and unique landscape didn't attract any strange looks. There are a wide variety of products on the shelves. They chose some daily necessities: rice, flour, grains, oils, ham, etc. Butter is a must-buy every time I come here. This is their favorite beauty and skincare ingredient, so I spent the longest time here. You must choose the most fragrant and purest products to be satisfied. Because of drought, cows have been producing very little milk recently, so they also bought some drinks. Because of drought, the shopping cart is full. With the roar of the motor, the pickup truck is on the road. It takes more than 2 hours to return to the village, traveling through the jungle all the way. Jagged rocks, bumpy ground, no road signs, there are no buildings. The driver looked around to kill boring time. Women sang and applauded. At dusk, finally arrived at the Himba village. It is a primitive social group that is about to disappear. The total number of this ethnic group is less than 20,000. In addition to breaking away from the matriarchal clan, everything else remains in its original state of life. Himba people's houses. It is made of tree branches and mud filled with cow dung. The door is low. You have to bend down to enter. There is no furniture inside. There is a cowhide spread on the ground. That's their bed. During the day, most men go out to herd and hunt. Women are left at home to take care of the children. Himba women are topless all year round. They like to mix a kind of red stone powder with cream, smear on body. Even the hair must be tightly wrapped in this red mud. Therefore their skin is always red, colorful so it can withstand the scorching sun. Therefore their skin is always red. It is said that because water sources are scarce, they will never take a bath in their life. Because this year's milk production is insufficient, so they had to use butter instead. For the Himba people, red pleated stone used to make powder. It is as important as the salt we usually eat. Hongji, collected from a sacred place dozens of kilometers away. In order to get these ores, they have to dig a mine. Many people were injured, even buried alive, but for thousands of years, they always keep the tradition. Because of long drought, the water sources in the village have dried up. Women were forced to go far away to fetch water. It takes at least more than an hour of walking under the scorching sun to reach the nearest water source. The so-called water source, it's actually a small ditch. Women pour water into containers, pray to the gods for rain to save them as soon as possible. The sheep herder drives the animals over to drink water. I quickly drank a few gulps myself. Although the muddy water is to bid and drink with the cattle and sheep, but they say they never get sick from it. On the contrary, I feel extremely honored. Himba people worship ancestors and gods. They believe that the souls of their ancestors will be reincarnated in the tombs. Therefore, cattle and sheep are not only a source of livelihood, it also expresses their longing for their ancestors. The way back is more difficult, so the bucket cannot be filled to full. Otherwise it would be difficult to insist on walking back. Because of long drought, some villages can only survive through mutual aid and cooperation. They jointly finance the pickup truck, deliver water door to door. Besides, there is nothing they can do. This second-hand pickup truck has been on the road for several years. There are holes everywhere in the carriage. What is even more surprising is that a big lizard emerged from the bucket. I didn't know he was stealing water inside to drink. Still want to take a ride? This trip brought 500 to 600 liters of water to supply to nearby villages. The brakes are broken. The handbrake becomes a spare box. I'm afraid that the engine will suddenly lose its temper. Anyway, they're used to it. Driving in Africa, nothing goes wrong. Spark plug problem. Been fussing for a while. The old pickup truck is finally alive again. Although the water looks to bid, but none of them can live without it. To deliver water, they have to do a lot of physical work every day to carry these heavy buckets. This man's shoulders are deformed. After fetching water to Himba women in the village, preparing for a long journey, they smeared their bodies with redstone cream. Then fix your hair, wear jewelry. The belt is studded with shiny pebbles. The headdress is made from dried animal skins, made into the shape of a sheep's horn and worn on the head. The respected chief of the Himba tribe dies. They went to the funeral on behalf of the village. Unlike Himba women, they are well dressed and wearing a strange hat. They belong to fraternal nations. They also suffered massacres by German colonists. German colonists occupied Namibia in 1880. Their land and livestock were forcibly confiscated and enslaved them to mine and farm. The night of January 12, 1904, Herero people launch a surprise attack on the German colonists. German Emperor Wilhelm II mobilized a large number of troops, carry out bloody suppression. As long as the Herero people are found, no matter if there are weapons or not, all shot. This genocide lasted 3 years. The Herero people have a population of around 1 million, directly reduced to more than 10,000 people, almost annihilated the race. January 12, 2004. On the occasion of the 100th anniversary of the Herero uprising, German ambassador to Namibia, Wolfgang, for the genocide committed by the German army that year, deeply apologized to the Namibian government, but rejected the offer of $4 billion in reparations. This journey is 90 kilometers, and the road conditions are extremely bad. It's been a toss-up along the way. Even the Wazang temple can fall apart. Fortunately, African people are very tolerant. Along the way they chatted about daily life. It can kill boring time. Driving is also hard work. The driver's biggest wish is to never break down on the road. The car suddenly stopped after driving for 3 hours. The women jumped out of the car excitedly and went to the roadside to pick wild fruits. This wild fruit called orobe is rare. Namibians love to eat, but orobe only grows when it rains, so their luck is really good today. There is a village near here. 4 Seasons just happened to drop by for delivery. There is only one canteen and a radius of more than 10 kilometers. The products inside are quite complete: tomato sauce, macaroni, rice noodles, cereals and oils. There are also cookies and toiletries. The driver can manage a delivery for several months. Once, just when the old pickup truck was about to leave, 2 women rushed over with children in their arms. Their child was bitten by a mad dog. The villagers also know that this is very dangerous. Asia and Africa are the hardest hit areas for rabies, so they want to rush to the hospital as soon as possible to get the injection. This makes the originally crowded carriage even more crowded. Fortunately, the remaining journey is not far. Everyone can barely tolerate it. Finally arrived at the destination in the evening. The funeral of the great chief was very solemn. Each village will send representatives to participate. There are people sitting around the morning call. The women cried bitterly. The men held spiritual services outside. This is also considered by them a way to talk to your ancestors. No matter which nation in the world, whether strong or not, they are all full of respect for their ancestors. The same goes for the Pygmies. They live in the jungles near the equator in Africa. In the Central African Republic, they are called Boka, known as Mobutu in Congo, and in Cameroon, also known as the beloved concubine. Pygmies ignore national borders. Where are the tropical rainforests? Where is their home? They live in the jungle like wild animals, so their population cannot be counted. The Pygmies never produce anything. They only do 3 things in their lives: hunting, gathering and singing. Their singing is like the rainforest here, ancient and mysterious. The Pygmies build small houses out of leaves and sticks, make various cooking utensils from wood. There is nothing redundant about their lives. As long as it can fill your stomach, we'll be very happy. Their music comes entirely from the forest, reverberating like a bird's call, chirping like insects. That's the sound of mosuo leaves in the breeze. It is also the sound of raindrops moistening the earth. Pure natural, no additives. Pygmy people love honey. For them, honey is not only delicious, it can also treat various diseases. But collecting requires hard work, even risk your life, because the trees here are often dozens of meters tall, as high as a dozen floors, and they don't have any modern climbing tools. To smoke out the bees, men will bring fire. It is said that the ancestral fire is passed down from generation to generation, never extinguished. The men wrapped a tough vine around the tree trunks, Climb up with strength and skill, like completing a difficult acrobatics. When reaching the top of the tree, often exhausted, the branches of this 1,000-year-old tree are thicker than elephants. However, even with all the hardships, sometimes I come back empty-handed. Bees like hollow tree trunks. The heart of this big tree is rotten. It won't take long. Will die. There is a beehive on the top of the tree, but it's too dangerous to climb up. What if you step on a rotten branch? Falling from such a high place, almost no chance of survival. So they decided to cut down the big tree directly. Men sing while working. When you're tired, lie down next to you and take a rest. 10 minutes later, the big tree is crumbling. As expected, this time I gained a lot. The children came to share the sweet results. These are stingless bees. No need to worry about getting stung at all. Their hives are also different from other bees. Place the beehive on the leaves. Honey will slowly seep out. Then you can toast and drink. Children are accustomed to licking with their tongues. This honey has a slightly bitter taste, has high medicinal value. Experienced bee hunter. Beehives can be found by tapping on tree trunks. Cock a chicken. Go down with the axe. If a bee comes out, you're 90% sure. Friends come over to help him. I have to say that this is quite courageous. As long as your feet slip, in a few seconds he will be shattered to pieces. Bee hunters fall from trees and die every year, but they still keep going, fearless, because they can live without anything. But we can't live without honey. These bees can sting, but they are used to the pain. You smoke. The combat effectiveness of bees will be greatly reduced. Then you can enjoy the harvest. Place the golden honeycomb in a basket made of leaves. Then put it little by little on the ground. The tribesmen have been waiting for a long time. Put it in your mouth and chew it like a big piece of steamed bun. Even puppies can enjoy the sweet taste. In addition to collecting, they also hunt. Nets used for hunting are woven from vine fibers. The process of setting up a net is very similar to netting fish in the water. Straighten the long net and tie it to a small tree, one by one, row after row. The wild beast often, after the network is laid out in haunted places, hunters search for prey in the jungle. Once discovered, they will yell and drive away. Drive it towards the trap. Everyone, stay calm and focused, expecting prey to fall into the trap. The sound is getting closer, getting louder and louder. A few seconds later, sure enough, a prey jumped out, hit the trap head first. Everyone swarmed up. Hold the deer firmly. The boy raised the knife and dropped it. One knife ended his suffering, able to strike with one's own hands. It's an honor for hunters. After the prey is carried back to the tribe, cooked by women, they will add some mushrooms and walnuts. If you can't finish it, you can smoke it and preserve it. After eating and drinking enough, there will be no more worries. Don't think about anything. Don't worry about anything. Smoke curling up. Mottled tree shadows. Free. Sing and dance. Dance is passed down from our ancestors. Pray for food for Windclan. Dancers wearing green leaves on their heads are equivalent to the souls of their ancestors. The tribesmen sang and danced around him. Besides, nothing else to ask for. Karma is the most famous dancer in the tribe. She's wearing a grass skirt, topless, just like the Himba women in Namibia. She dances freely and passionately, wild and unrestrained, like a beast full of life. Like rain falling from the sky, the wind kissing the leaves, light penetrating the dense forest. Happiness and joy overflow on everyone's face. Home loan, car loan, medical insurance and tuition fees have nothing to do with them. How to define happiness? Maybe everyone has their own answer. No worries. Neither greedy nor angry. Let nature take its course. Gratitude and contentment. How could you not be happy?